Man, this is like a huge, huge treat for me to be able to share this with you because it was an idea that I came up with and I was like, I got to unbox that with him because just everything that we got to talk about. I mean, this is a really, really special record for a lot of people. Sergio almost looks like in this outfit, almost looks like he could be in Living Color.
Yeah, we ended up going on tour with Living Color. I like that Sergio is smiling here. A lot of the time he's
He
not
was.
smiling in photos, but God damn it, do I have like a soul patch or is that just, I hope that's a shadow.
No, I
Because
think it's
that's
a soul patch.
20 years now.
Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Rockman Power Hour. I could not be more excited about this week's edition because we're doing an unboxing with the artist. Now, these are really, really fun. We did it once before with Snake from Voivod when we got that massive Voivod box set, and that was so much fun. So this week, we're going to be unboxing this, which is the 30th anniversary of the album Slip with Walter from Quicksand. Walter Schreifels is going to be joining us on the podcast. This is a YouTube only exclusive version because if we were going to do an audio version of this, it would be very frustrating for you.
With descriptive audio, Rockman stares slack-jawed.
Exactly. So all of you that are watching us here on YouTube, this is a YouTube exclusive, and we are giving you a chance to win this from our friends over at Iodine Records. They're giving away one of these for you to win. I'm not opening it up because we're going to be doing this with Walter, but man, Ryan, being a fan of this band for over 30 years, having a chance to open this up with Walter was a real treat. And I think people are going to be excited about this because this album is super influential. When you go through the liner notes and you see the people that give this props, it's like a who's who of rock and roll. It's really, really cool. So we're going to be unboxing this with Walter. But before we do that, we need to thank everybody that helped keep the lights on here at the Rockman Power Hour. A big shout out to Heartbeat Hot Sauce. I was going to have a bottle of hot sauce in my hand, but Ryan's got a bunch of them in his fridge. Make sure you use our promo code Rockman20 right below there, and that'll get you 20% off your entire order. Also, thank you to Studio House Designs for helping us look fresh. They always do. They've got great shirts. Make sure you check them out at studiohousedesigns.com. So, Ryan, this is super cool. This is rad. Make sure after this conversation, you stay to find out how you can win your own copy of Slip, the 30th anniversary edition. And without any further ado, here's our unboxing of Slip with Walter Schreifels of Quicksand.
What up, my bro?
How are you, man? Where are you? There he is. What's going on?
Not much, just chilling. I'm at my place upstate and just kicking it, getting a little bit of nature, like whatever, chill.
Yeah, you've been fucking busy.
I didn't think so, but then when I stop, I'm like, holy shit, man, it's a whirlwind.
It's like every project you have has been out on the road.
Yeah, and I'm like actually have a life outside of that too. So
yeah, I hear you.
It's a lot. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm excited about this release. I'm excited about the fact that I can talk to you finally in this capacity because I think the last time we saw each other was when you came in with one of your projects because you got so many.
Yes.
And you came in and played with Dead Heavens live on the show.
It was amazing.
And it was a lot of fun. And for me, it was fun because, as you know, and I've done it with you many times. I've gushed over your songwriting ability and I've been a fan for a long time. So for me, to have you in, even if it was with this new project, meant a lot to me. And the best thing was that you couldn't have been more personable when we met.
Thank you.
And it doesn't surprise me because you are coming from, a scene that if you did front, you wouldn't last long.
Yeah, it takes all kinds, but
yeah.
But yeah, I had such a good time up there. It was really awesome. And I know Drew from Dead Heavens and you like really got had a cool nerd out on
comic books and superhero movies and all
which
that
I
shit.
can see now. You got
Yeah, I got all kinds of shit back there.
like atmosphere here. I love this.
Yeah, this is the room where they kind of put me here when they want to keep me quiet. They're like, just go in your little room. But no, it's funny because we have an open concept place. So this is like, the rest of the place it is what it is. But then you come into here and it's like, oh man, you got lots of shit in here. But it's passion, right? And I think one of the things that I've always gotten from you is that you're doing this now because you have a passion for it. There's no other reason. You do it because you need to create, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very fortunate that it started early and caught some breaks and just managed to figure out how to continue just creating new stuff and building on that. So feel very blessed, and it's really awesome.
This is now is this the 30th anniversary of Slip?
Gosh, I really hate to admit that, but I think it might be.
So I noticed that I had a copy of Slip on vinyl already. Which I think was released through Polydor, it was released through Polydor, so it was one of these jobs. But Iodine took this, took the time to actually put together this crazy package to celebrate this record, and it's nuts. I mean, and so I came up with this idea. I reached out to them. I'm like, listen, man, I know Walter. I would love to do an unboxing of this edition of Slip with him, and they're like, all right, we're going to time this that you get it and he gets it.
It's on. I've got it right here.
So I got mine here. You got yours. I want to open it up and I want to talk about what's inside of this special edition because there's obviously a ton of memories for you.
Yeah.
And I thought, man, who better to get the memories from than the horse's mouth rather than a press release or, a bio. I'm like, I got to talk to him because he was there. And
I love this. It's going to be fresh because I haven't really talked about this. Let me go grab. I just realized I left my box of there. I'm going to get something like a scissors. I always have trouble opening these vinyl packages now. They're so. I mean, God bless them.
Go for it.
And respect to Iodine because they spared no expense even on the packaging. Packaging because this is some tight packaging.
So I got past that point, but
I'll catch up right now.
But you catch up.
You ever see that the Curb Your Enthusiasm where Larry's like trying to open up one of these plastic, electronics boxes or something like that, and he's going insane? Like, it's funny because it's true.
Well, it's what you got to respect people that take the time, because a lot of the people that order these things, they're collector's items, and they want things to come perfect.
Absolutely.
And there's nothing worse than something showing up in a bubble mailer and all the corners are dinged, and that sucks.
That sucks. And I get different, and there's different levels to this kind of packaging.
Yeah.
And this is kind of the top of the line, actually. Yeah.
So I reached out to Casey at Iodine, and he's like, all right, I'm going to send this out to you probably like May, June, when we get the deluxe ones in with the hardcover book, and I'm going to send it to you and Walter at the same time. So you got yours and I got mine.
This is goddamn nuts. Holy cow.
So when you look at this, one thing that I caught right away, and I was really happy about was that they included the Smiths cover, How Soon Is Now, in the end. I love he's influencing us.
I'm influencing as we go.
So you got the How Soon Is Now cover.
Yes.
Which is on here, which has been on past vinyl releases, but was it important to you that was included?
I think it was. It wasn't something that like I fought for or anything, but I think it's like a nice companion piece.
Yeah.
We were doing that cover before Slip came out, and it was sort of like at a time when that was a leap. I think people nowadays like, I mean, maybe not currently because Marcy's kind of put himself in all kinds of different political hot water and all that. But I think at the time, like in the hardcore scene, you still had this sort of like, and maybe it was an age thing, but we only listened to hardcore.
Oh yeah.
So to kind of like break out of that and be like, not only do I listen to something that's not hardcore, which has this sort of like machismo thing.
Yeah.
In fact, like we're listening to the most like, sort of effeminate or effete. I don't know. It's like, you know what I mean? Like,
totally.
And Marcy, it just sounds like the first time I heard his voice is like, I never heard anything like that.
It's beautiful. It's unique. It rips at you. You know what I mean? And that's the thing that you always stood out for, was the fact that you weren't you weren't afraid to just blow the boundaries off things, and you continue to do that, with rival schools and then with your solo stuff. So it's kind of nice that you were never worried about labels. And I think that was one of the first times where people were like, man, this project's going to be a little bit different because, it was heavy, but then you hear that cover and it was your own way. But the fact that you dug into that showed, like bands like, for example, bands like Deftones.
Yeah.
They wear that on their sleeve now.
Yeah.
The fact that we grew up listening to Depeche Mode, The Cure, but back then bands weren't doing that.
Yeah, we were a little bit, ahead of the curve on embracing the reality that there was other kinds of music besides
hardcore. All right, so we got this thing that is in a beautiful hardback book. It's bananas. Have you seen this yet at all, or no? It's your first time.
No.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I thought this is a very thick record they sent me. This is insane. Okay, so yeah.
All right, so we open the first page. Can you tell me a bit about these? I imagine they're divers, right?
They're divers. Yeah, I'll tell you. They're from a 1930s Jensen, I think is the name of the company, swimwear ad. And I just remember going to like Barnes and Nobles or something at the time and just looking for images that I thought would be cool.
Yeah.
And I think there was like just a book of like old ads. And I saw this, and I think I just liked that there was maybe I had the title Slip in my mind, so like that this would be like something that kind of gave you a feeling of slipping, of falling.
Slipping. Yeah.
And also I like that it was a male and female thing, which I thought that was like I just thought to have those two different energies, especially coming from hardcore where it's like so male dominated.
Again, stepping away from the the labels and the box that people want to put you in.
Yeah, to kind of go against type, a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I just like, you see how it's all like kind of pixelated.
Yeah.
I mean, this is already. I mean, you can see on the original as well, the pixelation on it is because I took it to 13th Street in Greenwich Village, where's all the copy shops, copy shops were, and just like I bought the book and just like put it on a color copier, and that's how the 7-inch was done too. I just thought it was so trippy in 1991 or whatever this was that you could color copy something.
Yeah.
And so that's why it has that look, that kind of pixelated look. It's like whatever 8-bit technology from 1991, and that was
sure.
That was it.
So then you get into the presentation of this, and there's a forward from you. It's just really classy, man. Like just the way that everybody's names are down on the bottom. Like it looks like an event.
It's legit. Like this is, these guys like from the jump, like really, I feel gave it the love that. Dare I say that it deserves,
Yeah.
It's a special record, not just for me, but I know for over the years, like, that people, that it came at a time for them that, that they really connect to it, and, all kinds of, just hearing that feedback. I know I'm not the only one.
Yeah, that's great. And I remember when you came in the studio and I brought you my copy of Slip, I had the poster that came in it, and I remember I think the caption you wrote on the poster is like, "Wow, look at that young svelte guy! Look at that young guy."
I love this because I think this is the photograph that they used for Sassy. We were in the magazine Sassy.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sassy, for those of you who aren't like fossils, it was the magazine that was kind of like. Marketed to young women, kind of cool, like quirky, kind of new wavy kind of girls. And this was our cute band alert photo.
Right.
Like we were in the cute band alert, and that was like, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. So they
look cute, I think.
Yeah, I love that photo. And they reached out to you, obviously, to read the forward, to write the forward.
Yes.
Was that fun to do?
Yeah, I mean, it's just interesting. I mean, fun is like, Yeah, I guess in a way, because you're, thinking about what was going on. I'd have to read it again, but
Yeah, yeah. It's the kind of thing I imagine you're the kind of guy that you like someone will ask you to do something, you get it done right away because if not, you're going to forget.
yeah, I'd have to revisit it. But I mean, once you start kind of get thinking about one thing, one aspect of it, something else pops into your mind, and
Sure. And then you
you know,
just
you kind of like, you get on a train, and it's just trying to include, I guess, everyone that I thought were sort of the key players, some sort of weird anecdotes, that stuck in my mind. But it was an amazing time, like, because we were, kind of going from this sort of like, indie hardcore, like absolutely no thoughts of becoming a popular band, to like being
on a
set
major.
up to be a popular band,
Yeah.
and kind of like riding that, walking that sort of line.
I remember and I mean we have a friend in common, had a friend in common, my cousin Todd,
Uh-huh.
Todd Schwartz,
Uh-huh.
who used to be a part of that scene back in the day. He was friends with Mike Judge, and I remember him telling me, yeah, man, I roadied Quicksand's first show.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember him telling me, like, because we had reconnected, and I'd said, "Man, I love Quicksand." He goes, "You have no idea, man." He goes, "You have no idea how crazy that first show was."
Oh man. I mean, it was just, we were doing, we had a lot of the energy from our hardcore roots,
Yeah,
and but we were doing something different with it. And I think and I think that and we weren't the only ones, but we were at a time when, like, that the music had become pretty like homogenized, I think, in a lot of ways. And I think everyone was kind of like hungering for some experimentation and just a different way of looking at it. So I think our timing was good, and we did it in such a way that it still made sense to the people that were from the scene that we were coming from.
and it's funny, just briefly gazing through this, like some of the bands you're citing as influences, like Public Enemy, Jane's Addiction, especially Jane's.
Yeah.
I always refer to that sweet spot in music in the late 80s, early 90s, where there seemed to be no rules. Like we were going from hair metal and then we were about to get into grunge, but there was that little spot where, there was bands like Faith No More, there were bands like Jane's Addiction, 24/7 Spies, Chili Peppers, that were kind of genre, like they were just doing whatever they wanted to, and you couldn't really put them in a box. So I think
Yeah.
they might have set the table, and Public Enemy too, just doing collabs.
Yeah.
You know, they set the table for the next 10 years in the 90s, and the 90s were really open.
Yeah.
There was so much experimentation and so many more female artists, coming out of that 80s that was just so like male driven with hair metal, and
Yeah.
of course there was alternative, but it just seemed like the 90s really were wide open. So you guys were like right on the cusp of that.
Yeah, I mean, but those kind of, I mean, I felt like, I guess in the early 80s when I was a little kid, you had the Clash and Monty, and there was a lot of cool music that was popular. But I guess as the decade kind of like went around to where I started getting into hardcore, like I think the mid to late 80s, it really flattened out in a lot of ways. Like I wasn't a fan of hair metal really. Like I appreciated some of its things, but that was not my aesthetic. So I kind of like felt like the popular music form was pretty flat in terms of guitar
Yeah.
stuff. And then there would be like little bubblings up, where like the Pixies kind of, they'd get a little bit of
Yeah.
penetration into the mainstream. And Jane's Addiction had a little bit of penetration into the mainstream. Kind of peaking out with like Caught Stealing.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't like they were the biggest band in America.
Oh no.
So it was still like had a foot in this independent scene. And I think it really, I mean, whatever, we're both in the music world. Everyone's heard this shit. Then Nirvana happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
really just like broke the dam. But in the meanwhile, underneath Jane's Addiction was like so much stuff that was percolating.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But I think at the time that Quicksand formed, they would have been the ultimate, there's other examples. I would say Fugazi was popular, but not popular like in a consumer sense.
Yeah.
I think more in a kind of cultural sense. And Jane's, I think, had a little bit of all of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they also harken back to me, they seem like they're like the Doors. They had this like mystical,
Yeah.
side to them that I thought was like very exciting. And just like had a certain, like a creativity, imagination that I thought that was great. And so we were influenced by stuff like that, and like early Soundgarden, some of the stuff that was coming out, like Sub Pop stuff, because it was again hitting on some of that classic rock, like Led Zeppelin kind of thing, but contextualizing it for like the independent scene. And by independent scene, I mean not successful.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, supported by fans, really, and not accepted in any. You're not like, you're gonna have to go hunting into the smaller record stores to find it if you can.
Right.
Or you might even mail order it. So that was kind of our world.
I remember the first Smashing Pumpkins record, trying to find Gish in Canada. I had to go to a small independent, had to order it from Caroline Records. It took 8 weeks to show up on CD. And when I finally got it, I was like, man, it was amazing. And then they blew up on Siamese Dream. But
they were another band. They were like, I would say, if you look at Smashing Pumpkins at that time, I think they were also, I would be surprised if they weren't very influenced by Jane's Addiction at that time as well. So I think Jane's really had that power. But I think there was, for me, Fugazi was kind of like closer to home, and Public Enemy, because all the hip hop stuff had happened in New York City through my high school years. Like all this stuff was going on, like, that was, and it was pretty exclusive to New York City. So like we couldn't help but be influenced by that and inspired by it. So we were definitely standing on the shoulders of all these giants.
It's great. And it's great that you guys broke out of that and then were able to form this and this, and, and I'm sure, because you get in a lot of bands that tell you, I mean, you guys influenced a hell of a lot of fucking people, a lot of people. I mean, there'd be no Deftones if there was no Quicksand. That's 110%.
I always like feel humbled by being a part of those kind of like lineages and those kind of conversations, because it's just, when you talk about a band like Deftones are amazing, or like these bands that like to feel like in the same line of these different groups that Quicksand was inspiring to them is that's just cool.
Yeah, fuck yeah. All right, so we get past the forward, and then what do we? Okay, so this is all old show posters.
Okay.
How does this feel when you see these? I mean, do you keep any of this stuff, or is this kind of in a way nice for you because this is going to be kind of like a scrapbook for you to have?
I do not. I'm a shitty archivalist. I just I didn't really see a future where I'd be talking to people on a computer
about these flyers that you guys put together in the photocopier.
No, I didn't see any of that. I did not have a vision for that. But I do remember this show here in the upper left. This is oh my gosh, that's nuts. ABC No Rio. So yeah, this was a big kind of a group show of all these sort of like bands that were sort of had a foot in CBGB's world, but this club, ABC No Rio, was I would say like a refuge for a lot of for kind of people that CBGB's gotten very violent, and people were looking for something new. And ABC No Rio was that place. So it's not Quicksand, but you'll see a band over there on the right called Moondog.
Yeah.
And that Moondog was me and Sergio. I think Sergio played in Moondog for that show. And Sam Siegler.
Okay.
Who played in Judge and all that. And Tom Capone. So it was me, Sergio, and Tom. And it was Moondog. And Alan Cage was at that show and saw us play because he was playing with Burn.
Right.
I think he floated it to Tom or to Sergio that he would like to play with us if we ever needed a drummer. And so, I guess at this point had you left Gorilla Biscuits? Was it like a falling out, or was it just... No, it was sort of simultaneous. There was a I mean, I think Gorilla Biscuits was probably like on its way out in some ways. Well, no, actually, we were working on stuff. I think Gorilla Biscuits really kind of like what happened was I was doing once I'm jumping ahead in the story a little bit, but this was happening at the same time.
So it was simultaneous.
It was simultaneous. So this was like sort of my little side project thing.
Right. Surprise! It's a big surprise. You had a side project. You still fucking have 1,000 side projects.
What it was in hardcore scene was like you weren't just. It would be strange to just be in one band. You're filling in everyone's band, which
is great because so many other scenes that if you're not playing with us, you're the enemy. You know what I mean? Like there's so much of that vibe in other scenes.
can be like that, but in our scene, it was like, I mean, we kind of had like a little scene within, we had like a click within the scene, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And our group of friends, but we were all really supportive and competitive, but in a healthy way, I think. And that's why I think there's so many good bands
Right.
from that era. And you see all these bands, like I'm friends with all these guys, you know what I mean? And have had different kind of interactions, creative interactions with all the bands on this bill, pretty much.
Would the All in the Bad Religion show with Shelter, I mean, would that have been a big one for you guys, considering that those guys
Yeah.
were, yeah.
This was our first tour, and I'm surprised Inside Out aren't on this bill, but we were on tour. Oh, you see if there's a flyer right next to it with Shelter, Quicksand,
Yep.
Inside Out.
Inside Out, yeah.
So those were the three bands we went on tour, and it was really, really fun. Inside Out, of course, is the first band of Zach De La Rocha from Rage Against the Machine.
Oh, nice.
And so the three of us were out on tour, and there were some shows where we weren't on together.
Yeah, like off dates or
Off dates, yeah. And the All Show with Bad Religion was one of them, and we got to open, and it was just cool because we were playing. It was a big show, nice club. It's All in Bad. It's funny, all were the big band at that point. Bad Religion, I think, had probably just kind of gotten back together and were playing again. I just remember on that tour feeling like I was pretty confident that we were doing something special. We had,
right.
And I was just the lead singer at that point too. I wasn't playing guitar.
Okay.
So that was a lot of fun too. I don't know how the hell I ever gave that up, but that was great.
Yeah. There's more flyers. Okay. So here we're starting to see, all right, Warzone, Shelter, Quicksand. Yeah. Okay. So continue with more probably beginning of shows.
Interesting. They really did a great job of getting these flyers. So yeah, the Shelter, Quicksand, Inside Out tour, we played quite a bit.
Yeah.
And Shelter were very cool at that time too, because they were, a new project of Ray Capo from Youth Today.
Yeah.
And so that was we were part of something, and Inside Out was a new project. So there was just like a new energy going into this like hardcore scene that had kind of been thriving for a couple years, but sort of like in some ways, like for some people just ran out of steam, for others it just was a new beginning, and that's kind of where we were at.
Amazing. Another sassy shot.
Oh my god, I can't even believe how handsome we look, like male models here.
I gotta tell you, man, I'm sure you guys did well.
This is crazy. I can't believe we ever looked that good. This is insane. Like Alan, he's seducing the hell out of me right here. And Tom, he's got this like Nordic Viking hair. He looks
Sergio doesn't fucking age, man.
Oh my god,
he doesn't age. He does not age. He looks he looks great. Yeah, you all look great.
This is pretty good stuff. Yeah, I like this photo.
Sergio almost looks like, in this outfit, almost looks like he could be in Living Color.
Yeah, we ended up going on tour with Living Color. I like that Sergio was smiling here. A lot of the time he's not smiling in photos, but God damn it, do I have like a soul patch, or is that just, I hope that's a shadow.
No, I think it's a soul patch.
Oh my god, and the necklaces. Okay, this is pretty 90s, but I would say we look
that look right there looks like you'd be like the pot dealer in a John Hughes movie.
Yes. Oh my god.
Like the handsome pot dealer that you want to keep your daughter away from.
Super sketch.
So, all right, so we move in now. This artist, is this the artist that you ended up working with for Manic Compression?
Yes, this is Melinda Beck's work, and I met her at ABC No Rio. I think she had maybe done this artwork. She did something for Moondog. I think she did the artwork for Moondog, because Moondog had one release, and I don't really remember how I got into her artwork, but yeah. So I asked her to do this flyer for Quicksand, and then ultimately ended up asking her, gave this look a rest for Slip, but asked her to do Manic Compression.
Right.
Because Manic Compression, I actually tried to do a different cover for Manic Compression, but it just came out really just bad. It was like a clown. It was terrible. Oh my god.
Well, maybe that'll come out when we do the reissue of that one. People will be able to see that. So there's some shots here. Are these in the studio, or are these live shots?
These are live shots. This looks like CB. Yeah, this is CB's.
Right.
That's GB's, and this was probably like so. Yeah, we did. I remember we played like a weeknight show at CBGB's, and it was a little cheesy because it was like we were like getting interest from record labels. So this was like our idea to like get people to like check us out on a weeknight, and I think this might be from one of those shows, or we played one. To get people riled up. So I remember feeling a little bit cheesy, but we look cool.
Amazing. So
So,
you moving on. There's more live shots.
yeah.
So these must have been before, because your hair is long. So these must have been before you guys did the photo shoot for the record, right?
Yeah, so this actually looks like this might have been one of these. We were on tour with 7 Seconds as well.
Okay.
This is funny. He's wearing like cut off denim shorts, and I've got this like real hippie kind of vibe with these necklaces and stuff. I guess it's kind of like, yeah, like there's an earthiness to our vibe here.
Yeah.
Remember we toured with Surgery, who were on AmRep, and they were older than us, and they thought we were such hippies. They like called us Quicksandal.
Quicksand.
I think it's like this is like real Quicksandal era for us.
With
But
the love beads.
yeah, all that crap. That was but that's real. That's real.
So I guess there's this whole section's about really the beginning of the band, which is great. If you go through the pages, you start to see this is where you guys, I imagine, were cutting your teeth in this band before getting signed to the major, right?
Yeah, we were building it, and when we first started, it was this sort of like, you can see here I'm playing guitar now.
Yeah.
So that was kind of, we were just taking on a different thing. I think at this point, where we had been influenced by Jane's and Sonic Youth, and I mean, Jane's and probably like Public Enemy and like Slayer and stuff like that. Now we were getting more influenced by like My Bloody Valentine, Sonic Youth. So you see, like, we're just getting a little bit more far out, I think.
Right.
But yeah, we're on tour 7 Seconds, and 7 Seconds at that point, we're also doing sort of some new sort of thing. And, so we were kind of like part of this, like, what's going on with hardcore? It's flipping around somehow. And we were kind of part of that.
Okay. So I'm on like page 16, 17. You got the short hair now. So I imagine we're getting closer to, all right, here we go. So now when I get into like 18, 19, we're getting to, these are obviously shots for the record, right? These look like, this looks like you're at the, okay, we're doing shots for the record. Like we're on the label now. Am I right?
Yeah, this looks great. Damn. Tom looks like Fields from My Bloody Valentine. It's amazing. God, we were so young. We look great.
All right. So, this is okay. Is this here? Man, this looks like a Frank Kozik style poster.
Yes. Yeah, we did.
I'm a big Mad Max fan, so just seeing this is just bananas.
Yeah, it's fantastic. We were really lucky to that Helmet they were kind of like our older brother band in New York, and they really like took us under their wing and gave us like a wider context because they had a big hit.
Oh, well, meantime, I mean, that album, they just blew up.
Yeah, so they kind of like brought us along and kind of gave us a little bit more context in the world of I don't know, it's just it wasn't like they weren't hardcore, but they related to it.
Well, it's like like what people would label post-hardcore, that real post-hardcore scene.
So yeah, that was really, really cool to all the tours with them. They were amazing.
So yeah, so we're going, as I'm going through it, because I want to go through. All right, we're getting to, okay, so now I'm on like 24, 25 after some live shots. So these are 7 inches. I guess this is the stuff to start. I'm seeing, so this I've never seen before, and I imagine these are fucking hard to find.
I sure don't have one, but
yeah, because you're the worst archivist ever. We've covered that.
But this was, at this time too, we were like, this is the era of CDs. So record labels were looking at vinyl as just like
throwaway. Yeah.
Stupid. So we were like, our thing was like, no, we really want to have vinyl. So Polydor like made it happen for us.
Right.
I felt like they didn't. I felt like this looked like fake indie a little bit, but over the years, it's kind of cool.
Oh, it's aged well, definitely.
Yeah, but I like how the back is just this sort of very stock font
Yeah.
and mad like just information, like no, you know what I mean? It has
Yeah.
like a sort of like don't like a genericness about it that
Yeah,
it's kind of fun.
it looks super indie. It doesn't look major label-y at all.
Yeah, I think this is really cool. I wish I had one. But you
Um,
know, like these wouldn't like Revelation Records wouldn't put out put out something in this kind of a sleeve. They would get some, they would spend more money.
yeah,
So there was something like this is more like the kind of 7-inch sleeve that would be in like in a jukebox because it's like,
yeah,
you know, because it was a major label.
yeah, definitely. Which is ironic, right? You figure it would be the other way around.
Yeah, because they have more money. Oh my God, this is so funny. There's a
This-
picture of me in this Negative Approach shirt, and I'm doing like, you know, late spring cleaning, and I just found this green Negative Approach shirt.
oh yeah,
I'm wearing on page 25.
yeah. I'm looking at now. Great shots too.
Yeah, this is the video shoot I think for Phaser, like our first music.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I'm aware of it. It's great to be able to see T-shirts again when you look at live shots and you're like, where the fuck did that go? It happens to me all the time. I'll look through old shots of me whenever over the last 30 something years. I'm like, man, where did that fucking shirt go? And and I don't have anything anymore because I give everything away. I'm always like constantly getting rid of stuff and I don't archive much.
It's funny the ones that, of course, like there's the majority of them you've lost, but then there's a couple or a few of them is like, why do I still have you? Like, why are you still here? But I'm glad about this Negative Approach one because that is a good T-shirt.
All right, so here we go. I'm looking at 28, 29, where we're seeing Slip on vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
This year. So I see on the hype sticker includes previously unreleased bonus track How Soon Is Now. So that was something. Oh, so they were promoting that track quite a bit.
I guess because it would have been the thing that we had extra.
Yep.
You know, I don't know. I don't know if there was songs that we didn't use. I don't remember them. There was stuff that was like demos that were sort of like incomplete, but I don't know that we had like a lot of B-side material. I mean, we re-recorded 2 of the songs from the EP, so I guess How Soon and Now would have been the thing to really to throw out there
to put on. So yeah, here we go. So these are some more. I guess this is promos for the record. This is great.
This came out great
From the Kitchen of Quicksand. I love this.
Yeah, this is very cool. You know, because there's
bursting with flavor.
yeah. You know, a lot of this like major label stuff would come off cheesy, I guess, you know, and this was one that they nailed it. It's great.
So let me ask you, did you have any input into any of this, or was this kind of like, because my experience being on, once you get to a label that has a bit of money or major, there's an art department. Like I remember when we put our first like major record, we had it like, you know, Priority Records had an art department, and they were the same people that did Ice Cube's records. So we were like, well, we're not going to argue with them. They put together, you know, they have $20,000 photo shoots and all this bullshit. That was just so, when I think of it now, it's just so stupid. But is this the result of that, or was the days of you going and finding stuff in a bathing suit catalog gone, or were you able to go like, hey, was there approval, or was it just like, no, you were doing music?
I would think we probably approved it, but I would have to say that oh my God, I just am noticing original Schreifels recipe. This is hilarious. It was this I think is them. I think they came up with this. This was a master stroke from the art department.
It's really nice. It's super, super nice. I mean, it's great. It's the kind of stuff that I'm like, now I'm gonna have to look for this.
Yeah, I wish I had one. It's cool.
So more live shots. Want to get into?
These are from our video for Dine Alone.
Nice.
These ones on the next page. Very cool. I noticed that Tom's wearing a very cool Velvet Underground t-shirt. This is before you could like, you know, get these kind of things, you know, to acquire a cool Velvet Underground t-shirt was a much bigger task.
And you know, it's great when a lot of people here in Canada will know, like Dine Alone, the label, which is a pretty, you know, important label here in Canada. Joel, I mean, it's all because of, you know, of this. It's named after this song. So it's crazy. It's crazy. It's nice to hear, because when I see Dine Alone, I first think of this, but then I'm like, oh yeah, it has a whole new meaning for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's very cool. I really am. I love that Joel named his record label after it. It's really dope.
Okay, so this is great. So there we're when you go to the next page, we're the continuation of the TV dinner. I guess this was part of those would be those double-sided cards that they would pass out at shows and stuff, right? Flyers.
Yeah, this is the kind of thing that would actually really embarrass the shit out of me because it'd be like, like these sort of industry magazines, like this is the next band.
Yeah.
So trying to get like radio people hyped up or like,
yeah.
grease the wheels for some success from the industry side rather than the actual public. This is the kind of shit that would be like, oh, Jesus Christ, can we bury this, please?
Remember that there's that magazine called the Album Network, and I remember it was like an industry rag, and it's the same thing. It says, this one's guaranteed not to sink. It's the kind of rock, RAWK, everyone in radio should be looking for.
Oh my God.
I said Album Network, and it's a quote from Lone Freed, Album Network.
Yeah, so it's mad cringe, dude. I mean, God bless Lone friend wherever he is right now. Like I remember him actually, but that is super cringe. But in the defense of all this stuff, that's just what was going on,
Yeah, no, definitely. So there's more. So here we are into the CD singles, which is really rad.
Yeah.
Now this shot is amazing. Do you remember who took that shot? Because that shot has been used a lot, and I imagine by the amount it's still being used, you like that shot.
Yeah, I mean that's I think our like kind of iconic shot. It's in Czechoslovakia in this like little club we played and on like a van tour, and our friend John Marcus, who came on a lot of trips with us, took it. And yeah, I guess I just like that it's obscure. The silhouette is really just kind of says it, like, I'm not facing the audience, I'm facing my amp. You know what I mean?
No, it's great. It's great.
That's something cool.
Now, this is weird. I've never seen this. This cover for Freezing
there was
Process.
a poster, and if you see I'm singing.
Without the guitar. Yeah.
So this was sort of like me realizing that I had made a big mistake, not by playing guitar, because I just made my life harder carrying guitars around.
Yeah.
And so we were trying to return to me singing and not playing guitar. And this is a show that it was like kind of an industry show. I think we opened for Megadeth at the Ritz. It was a big show.
Yeah.
We went. It was a great show. But I don't know why I just didn't stick with it. I think at that point the dynamics had already changed to where we needed that second guitar. And I think maybe that was one of the last times I did that. Yeah,
because I don't think you've done it since, right? Like you always have something.
Only if my guitar breaks and I can't figure out a way to fix it, then I'll do it.
Right. So here's this is rad. So I don't think I've ever seen this must be a promo copy of the cassette. That really looks like a demo. That looks great.
Yeah, I mean these would go out in mass. You know what I mean? Because to all, it's again, there's like that whole industry side of the music business at that time was pretty extensive. Like all the kind of movement behind the scenes within the industry to try to get people on board with selling these kinds of amounts of records. Was extensive. Whereas now, there's none of that ephemera.
None of it. What's great too is throughout all this, there's quotes from other people, other bands, like Jeff Rickley from Thursday is quoting down here. So there's a lot of really good stuff to sink your teeth into.
There is. I'm so excited to read all these quotes. I'm just like skimming some of them. Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, Jeff is saying something cool about us, man. Like, this is your life. I love this. All
right. This is rad. So I have some skin in the game on this one because I got to play a show with Wool probably around this same time. Mm-hmm. And I remember when we got to play with them, I thought it was the fucking coolest thing in the world.
Yeah, they were a good band.
So this cassette sampler, I guess this is, again, one of those samplers to let everybody know who Polydor had signed at that time, right?
Yes. And I guess they're trying to look like...
Yeah, like super indie.
Yeah, they're trying to look indie here. It's like fake indie. Yeah, Wool were cool. And God Machine were good too, actually.
Not familiar with them.
Not as much crossover between us and God Machine, but Wool, because what's the guy from Scream's name? Pete Stahl was the singer. And Scream were like a band that I really loved growing up. So they had hardcore roots. And also the drummer had played in Chain of Strength, which is another hardcore band. So, it was kind of more root, I felt that I liked Wool. They were good.
Nice. All right, so we got some merch into some merch here. Now this design you brought back, at least the front font. I've seen
Yeah.
that, but these are great. These should be brought back, definitely.
Yeah. Well, maybe we will do that. We should. The Quicksand font was done by my roommate and bandmate Anthony Civarelli, Civ from Grill Biscuits. I think
Yep.
was the one who did that font, and I still love it. It's really really great.
So when did you guys switch from this one to the typewriter?
On Slip.
On
The,
Slip, right?
that font was from the designer at Polygram, and
Right.
his name escapes me right now, but cool guy. I think I saw him on Instagram some years back, and that was something, just a font. And I was like, oh, I like that.
Me too. And it's funny because when Slaves on Dope put out our first EP, I mean, we bit you guys so much in terms of designs because we were so influenced by you, and that ended up becoming our font. And it still is a font that I like that cracked typewriter. Like even when I tattooed my kids' names on my wrists, like I went with that font. And it's funny because Rage did it too, and it just became this font that, like, even 30 years later, it's this font that, like, if you know, you know, because it was attached to certain cool things. It just became the font that if you want to get a certain message across, it works.
Yeah, I mean that's I'm glad that we were kind of early in on that one.
Now this is a great shirt. This is all artwork that
Red Eyes, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, man, I had never seen that. That's great.
Yeah, Melinda Beck does great work. I mean, this is it's a little disturbing, but it's awesome.
So I'm going to read this quote from Mike from Agnostic Front. He goes, "This timeless record sounds as fresh as it did when it was released. From Phaser through Transparent, there's never a dull moment, fusing the post-punk sound that Fugazi started while bringing a New York flavor and attitude to it." How cool is that?
Oh, what a sweet guy. I love Mike. That is really, really cool.
I can feel my nipples chafing when I look at that tag. These heavyweight, these t-shirts that, those heavy cotton shirts.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. With those gigantic ass necks.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like this one here. Next page over, the long sleeve. This is some great stuff that you guys should go back and pull out, because there's some amazing designs here.
I really like the detail on the back, which was Melinda's actual note.
People or person running down the street being attacked by gray killer shark, airplanes, cityscape and background being bombed.
Yes, that's what's happening.
It's awesome. Oh yeah, like, I mean, that neck here on the next one over, that has got to be at least an inch and a half to 2 inch neck.
It's just massive. It's like any more, and that is a mock turtleneck.
So, oh man, yeah. So you can tell definitely that you guys had crazy shows. You can just see the amount of people in the audience here.
Yeah, I mean, we built it up. It was kind of amazing. Like when things started to click with Slip, it was just, but at the same time, we were just like always out there doing it. So we just got used to everything very quickly.
So I see this shot here. It says Quicksand 1993 NYC. And again, I'm just looking at the names here, like, Brian from Shadows Fall. So all these great quotes that people are going to be able to really read and see. And
oh, it's so cool.
Yeah. But this is an awesome shot.
I love this.
That's in a subway station, right?
Yeah. It's really, really cool. Yeah. I wonder who took this one. Probably John Marcus.
So you're talking about you not having the your guitar. If you go to the next page, there's that shot of you with the microphone.
Yeah, that was it. I mean,
what a great tour poster, though.
Yeah, I wish. Oh man, this maybe won't make any sense, but like I remember our sound man like did a goof on this poster, and he drew like a toilet under me, so like I was taking a shit.
Can you imagine now with people's phones, like how easily you could turn that in? That could become that would have been a meme, right?
Yeah, and it is very memey, and he turned Alan into this Viking because Alan just got this Viking vibe. But yeah, damn. I mean, this is a cool one. This is Anthrax, White Zombie, and Quicksand over here across the
Electric Factory concerts.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Okay, so this must have been a big show for you guys because of the time.
Yes,
this is Zach's new band,
yes.
who you knew from before.
Yep. He was an early Quicksand fan.
Yeah.
And when Rage was coming up, it was like an insane
Oh my God. Like
Sure.
those shows must have been bananas.
So they was crazy. I mean, I had saw them once. When I first heard it, I didn't really get it. I thought, so you're doing like a rap thing? I didn't understand it because Inside Out, I was a big Inside Out fan.
So was he not rapping in Inside Out?
No, it's just like more hardcore singing.
Okay. Okay.
And you got to check it out.
I will.
Inside Out was amazing. And then when I finally saw Rage Against the Machine, I'd heard about how people loved it. And then when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, this is the greatest band that you could see.
Yeah, definitely.
I was really grateful that Zach invited us out, and we played other shows with them as well. So it was very cool. Great band.
So are these from? I guess these are from home videos. Stills from home video.
It's from Quicksand the movie. Like it was our my dear friend Joe Nelson had like a video thing, and he filmed us while we were out on tour with Rage, and made edited a little movie. A movie out of it. So there's a lot of cool footage from it. I actually need to watch it. I haven't seen it.
That's great.
I think I saw it then, but I haven't seen it since.
This is great. So the next page, it says Antimatter, Quicksand, Rage Against the Machine, Resurrection, Mouthpiece, Swerve Driver, Lifetime. So Antimatter was an indie mag, right?
Yeah, it was a fanzine written by Norm Arias, and he's playing in Thursday now. Norm's a great guy, and he was just kind of contextualizing this scene that was happening in a cool, legit way. So I mean, the band's right there. I mean, Rage Against the Machine were massive.
Yeah,
we were doing well for sure, but then at the same time, you have like Resurrection and Mouthpiece, who were like, up and coming hardcore bands, and Lifetime, and Swerve Driver, who were like a, UK kind of like quasi shoegaze band.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was seeing how all those bands fit with each other.
Crazy. And there's a nice big quote from Dennis from Refused, who I know after, from speaking to Dennis, I mean, he's not only just an avid, I mean, he's an archivist when it comes to vinyl. I mean, the guy's a vinyl nut, but saying some really nice things about, just at the end, he goes, Quicksand should have been the biggest band in the world.
Yeah. I think that it's maybe at that time, like we had a certain thing where we were just kind of like, you're positioned well to like, explain what's happening. And we were just like powered by this hardcore scene and like all our experiences in that, and being, just very up on shit. And so I think we maybe should have been the biggest band in the world, but I'm very grateful that we got to do all the stuff that we did, and we have someone like Dennis saying something.
Because you probably think Refuse should have been one of the biggest bands in the world.
I think Refuse. I mean, I think it's fine that what they are, because it's like it allows us to feel connection to it. And I don't know that, like, of course, it would be nice to have like, the kind
Metallica money.
Yeah, it'd be cool to have the money.
Yeah,
and that's about it.
But it doesn't matter. And I think as you get older, you start to realize the things that matter the most to you are the things that connect to you the most. And when you can build a connection with somebody like that, that means more than money. And when you're really able to see that, it's just, you get to another place, like it's special. And to a guy like Dennis, I mean, it's all the people that are quoting in here are all very much like-minded people that have had that kind of impact with their bands.
I'm very happy with my peer group, and that all like awesome people are being connected to them is to me like is makes me feel rich in that regard.
So I see the CBGB 20th anniversary celebrations.
Damn, too bad Sergio doesn't have that Nauseous t-shirt anymore. That looks like it was on its last legs then. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's true, eh?
Yeah.
I love how you comment on the t-shirts, because I do the same thing. Oh, there's a great King Kong t-shirt there too.
Yeah, Tom had always had cool t-shirts.
Who's that in the back with the cow?
That is my friend Gus Pena, who I've not seen in years, but cool guy, great stage diver.
All right, so we get here more. There's more live posters as you go through.
I like this Quicksand font on page 58, 59.
It's cool. It's definitely cool.
It's kind of like a 70s feel good font.
Yeah, right. That looks like, if I saw that, I'd be like, they'd be the next great stoner rock band.
Yes.
So when you turn over, okay, keep going here. Yeah, that's great. So you're back. You're with the guitar at this point.
Okay, so yeah, I'm back with the guitar. Okay, so yeah,
That's at the. This is. I guess this is from the show at the Roxy. Oh, it's a great quote from Derek, who I just saw. I was a short time roadie for Quicksand in the beginning of their career, and I respected the fact that after singing with was signing with a major, they stayed true to who they really are without fear of change. So tell me about Derek being your roadie.
Yeah, Derek came out on our tour with Inside Out and Shelter.
Okay.
And our van broke down like on one of the very first shows. And so we had to borrow a van from someone, I think it was in Buffalo. So we borrowed a van from someone from Cleveland and drove us around for a while Derek and another friend of ours tried to get our van repaired in Buffalo. So, and then we hooked up with him later in the trip, or maybe he came out, I don't know, but I've been friends with Derek since hardcore time.
Yeah. I just saw him with Sepultura. It was my first time seeing him sing with Sepultura.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, my God, like what a force.
Yeah.
What a force.
He's amazing.
He literally is the definition of a gentle giant.
Oh, he's a sweetheart. He's such a great guy.
Okay. So this is a great benefit for the freedom of Leonard Peltier. Do you remember this show?
I sure do. This was amazing. Everybody, such great bands. I think I was just like knocked out by the lineup. But the main thing I remember from it was going backstage and Dave Gahan from Depeche Mode was in our backstage.
Oh my God.
Like drinking our beer and just kicking it. I think he was maybe not in his best place.
Yeah.
And he just like stumbled into someone's backstage. So then I'm backstage with Dave Gahan and he was, dude, he had just played like the Rose Bowl, like, a month or two before.
Sure.
He was, he was maybe not on the best date, but still super elegant, super cool, not sloppy.
Yeah.
But I was like, what the hell are you doing here, Dave? This is.
Were you freaking out a bit? I mean, I guess.
Right. No, I mean, I wasn't. I just thought it was cool, and he was super nice. So interesting for that interaction. But that's what I remember about the show. And and Rage also that night. I remember was the night that Richard Nixon had died, like the day before. So there was all this sort of like, oh, Richard Nixon, let's give him a break. He died, or people trying to like, be nice because he had died. Yeah. And Zach said the funniest thing. He's like, after the show, I'm going to drive to Yorba Linda and take a shit on his grave. And it was like 10,000 people going like, yeah. It was so funny.
Oh, it's amazing. And look at the bands on this bill: Rage, Beastie Boys, X, Cypress Hill, Quicksand, Stanford Prison Experiment, Mother Tongue. I mean, that looks like a great bill.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
So so this is really cool. The end here, all the credits. And man, this is bananas. It's just, this is really, really cool to see, because the fact that love was given to this record the way it's been, I have to applaud Iodine for this, because it's great. And, certain records deserve this. And I think this record, especially this record's important,
I'm knocked out by this. I saw some people posting about it. I was like, oh, cool. I'm loving it and thumbs upping it, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm knocked out. So I'm going to definitely write the guys in Iodine and thank them, because they found so much cool stuff here. This is insane. Like, these photographs are so dope. It's cool to see yourself, like I lived it, what I mean? It's cool to look at it
to see it again. Yeah.
It's like, it was something special.
And this repeat like pattern that they did with the divers is really nice.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that all your lyrics are laid out, that's great.
Yeah. I mean, just as a object that they did it, it's really, really beautiful.
I'm going to pull out the vinyl. I don't know if it's the same color for everybody.
Let me see what
yeah, I think it's okay. So it comes with the download code. It came on the top, and I got.
Oh yeah, I've got this nice kind of like pale yellow. Yeah, I think I have this.
It's like sunbursty. Well, like it's almost like a tie-dye kind of thing.
I love it. Very, very Quicksand. Very like, they should have given you some Quicksand like long beads. Really get into it,
For your favorite 90s pot dealer.
Like some extra ephemera, you can get official Quicksand like beads.
And yeah, man. So I just want to ask you quickly, because I don't want to keep you too much longer, because I know In the back too, of course. You got the iconic photo there that's been distressed and stuff.
I like that they put the orange on it too.
And did you see the spine? Look at that. Like the logo's in there. It's just
Oh,
it's so tastefully done, man.
this is amazing. I'm going to show this to my grandkids. This is dope.
What number did you get? Because there's 2,000. I got 134.
Okay, let me see.
Be funny if you had 135 and they shipped them out at the same time, or maybe they gave you number one.
Let me see. So where would I find the number?
Bottom, back, bottom right.
Back, bottom right. Oh, I got 542. So you're a little bit earlier in the game.
134. So when I see you next time, I'm going to meet up with you because you have to have the lower one. And I'll just give you the lower one.
That's fine. I'm perfect.
I'm just teasing you, man. But I want to let people know that this is available right now to order through Iodine Records. Man, this is like a huge, huge treat for me to be able to share this with you because it was an idea that I came up with and I was like, I got to unbox that with him because just everything that we got to talk about. I mean, this is, stuff that people, unless you were to do this on your own and you probably knowing you would just be like, oh, this is cool. Look through it. And you're moving on to the next thing. So the fact that we got to take a bit of time to do this is a real, real treat. I think it's going to be a treat for fans too, because this is a really, really special record for a lot of people. And it's a special time in my life as a musician because this poster was prominent in our jam room along with the Caius one and all those important records of that time. So it's kind of full circle for me to be able to talk to you about this, but I really encourage people to check this out because, there's reissues and then there's reissues. And this is my first real dealing with Iodine and I'm really impressed, man.
Me too. Holy cow. Thank you so much, Jason, for thinking of this and inviting me to do this because it was a real joy. Now I'm like, I'm going to be looking over this. I can't believe all these things people are saying. And then the photos are so cool. So thank you for inviting me to do this.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. And just quickly, so where can people find what you're up to now? Where would be, I know you've got, from what I've seen, Gorilla Biscuits has been doing dates. Rival Schools just did a bunch of stuff. It looks like you guys are gearing up to do a new record with Rival Schools?
Right now we're just kind of celebrating the reissue but
yeah.
I wouldn't rule it out. And we, I guess the best thing for me is the one thing that I'm kind of active on is Instagram. And right. I kind of like incorporate everything into it, so I kind of like post the shows and stuff and, show stuff, whatever, what you do in social media, but I incorporate all of that stuff.
So people can all find it at your own page.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's run by me, so don't expect it to be real tight or organized, but I do what I can.
But it's done with heart. Walter, thank you so much for taking the time. It means the world. And I can't wait to see you again in person. And continued success, man. And let's get on again when they do the Manic Compression one.
Absolutely.
They have to.
Good. I'm in, dude. I love it. Thanks so much, Jason.
Thank you, man.
That was really great, man.
Yeah. Wasn't that fun?
When I hear Quicksand's music, I'm like, oh yeah. Like you hear it somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's always fascinating when you have these bands that are praised by some of the biggest stars in the world.
Yeah.
And yet at the same time, it happens in comic books all the time.
Yeah.
Where people are like, oh my God, this one guy, but but they get close, but at the same time, their impact. It's like it's kind of like the New York Dolls. Like
the New York Dolls comparison is a great comparison because they're a band that if you were going to ask all these bands that might have eclipsed them in terms of popularity, who their influence was, it would be them. Same thing with Quicksand. You see who thanks them in the liner notes and in this package. I mean, it's a who's who of rock, And I just love the fact that all these years later, a record that I absolutely loved, that I just played with like when my daughter and I went to Toronto, we went on a little road trip. I played this whole record for her. I was like, I want you to hear this record. And what was
not
great,
jealous at all. Yeah.
when we, I played this whole record for her and I had my phone on my stand, like my phone stand in my car phone stand. There you go. And I did that thing on Apple Music that I love where you can push lyrics and the lyrics kind of like a karaoke machine go in real time. And her eyes were fixed on the lyrics for the whole record. And she's like, wow. First thing she said was, wow, this guy writes really cool lyrics. And two, wow, these guys influenced Deftones.
Yeah. That's what I heard too. I heard like a few minutes of a music video and I was just like, doing the timeline and stuff like that, and I'm just like, wow, because I was used to, by the time the late '90s, early 2000s was happening, everybody was kind of carbon copying each other. Like I've seen 1,000 emo bands that have no voice whatsoever, but then when you look at the used, you're like, man, how the fuck did you guys think of doing this?
Yeah.
Like really, the bands that truly started the sound and the movement. And Quicksand, unfortunately, were stuck in some quicksand when they were almost on the precipice of becoming like one of the biggest bands in the world. And it's nice to see that he's not a bitter dick about it. I think that's the most important part. And it was really cool to hear him humbly. Is this fucker Canadian? Because he feels like it.
I know, doesn't he?
He's just like, oh, he said that? No, that's really nice of him.
Dude, like, it's just, there's people that are special, and he's one of these guys that's really special. He came into the Shome Studios when I was working at Shome with his band Dead Heavens, and I had him in the studio, and they performed live. They did an acoustic thing.
That must have blew your fucking mind, dude.
You have no idea. Because I was like, oh my God. And I remember he was tuning his guitar. And I just took my phone and I took a little video of him tuning up, unbeknownst to him. And I sent it to Kevin and I go, dude, Walter's in my studio right now. And he was like, what the fuck? And it was just really cool because he was just, I had met him a couple of times. I remember our friend Emily knew him. And when we talk about it a little bit, how Deftones brought them out on tour when Quicksand first got back together in I believe it's got to be the 2000s or maybe late 90s. I think it was late 90s, actually. It was before we moved to LA. So it must have been like 98, 99, like right before we fucked off to LA. We went to see Deftones at Metropolis and Quicksand were opening. And Emily brought us around the back of Metropolis, Tell Us Now, to meet Walter. And Walter came back to our car because we had Slaves on Dope t-shirts to give him. Aww. And I remember he was so fucking nice. And then I saw him again at Canadian Music Week. Rival Schools played, and I dragged Julia to go see this band when we first started dating. I'm like, you got to go see this band. And then I saw him in the alley, like after and I was like, man, that was so great. And then we had him part of the Kings of Quarantine.
Yeah, I remember him being there. We care a lot. And then I saw the punk rock vegan movie that oh shit, what the fuck? That Moby produced.
Yes.
And it's free on YouTube. And I remember seeing Walter in that. And I'm like, I know that guy. You said We Care a Lot briefly in a video I made once.
There you go. So I'm excited because the re-release is available now. The 30th anniversary dates have just been announced. They're doing a bunch of dates on the East Coast and they're doing some on the West Coast of the US. So I'm going to go to a couple of these dates, and I
thought you would. Yeah.
I'm very excited since my schedule's kind of freed up for a little bit. I'm gonna go check out some of these 30th anniversary shows. Maybe one in New York and Boston and Philadelphia. But I really, really am happy that Iodine were nice enough to send us copies of this, and they're nice enough to give us one to give to you right now. And this is rad. So we are giving you a chance to win your own copy of this, the 30th anniversary of Slip, the hardbook edition that you just saw us unbox with Walter. We're going to get one for you. You can win one. Now, all you got to do is be subscribed and leave us a comment.
Like the video too.
But leave us a comment below. Leave us a comment. And we're going to be picking from the comments one lucky winner. A heartfelt one, and it will be shipped right to your door thanks to the friends at Iodine Records. So thank you to everybody over there. Big thanks to Walter for accepting this, joining us, and doing this with us. It was a real treat for me as a lifelong fan, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. A thanks to Heartbeat Hot Sauce for helping us keep the lights on. Thanks to Studio House Designs for making us look, well, I guess as good as we can look. And thanks to AKG for helping us sound good. And thanks to all of you for this, for watching us on this YouTube exclusive. We will be back with another audio episode and another episode next week. Do we tell them who's coming next week?
Yeah, we tell them. I already have people asking me because we posted a photo like weeks ago when we recorded it.
Okay.
Mr. Corey Taylor.
Corey Taylor is going to be joining us on the podcast next week on the Rockman Power Hour. So make sure you don't miss it and you are subscribed. Thank you so much to all of you for joining us on this journey. Thank you to my co-host, Ryan Stick. Thank you to our producer, Julia Kajerski. Thank you to Iodine Records for making us and helping us make this happen. And don't forget to try to win your copy of Slip. And if you want to just go buy one, go over to Iodine Records and support them. Thank you to Walter Schreifels for joining us from the band Quicksand. And thanks to all of you. Again, we love you. Leave us comments on what you want to hear, what you want to see, and make sure you're subscribed, like the video, and leave a comment, and you can win one of these. We'll see you next time with Corey Taylor on the Rockman Power Hour.